It is currently 5:06 a.m. and welcome to a full day of training and eating whilst prepping for a 15-mile, 88-kilo yoke carry through the mountains of Utah. I've actually been up for about 45 minutes and had some food already, but I've only just decided that I'm going to film this video. So let me give you an overview of what I've already had. So, start with this unflavoured electrolytes because they keep me in a fasted state, which doesn't actually matter today. So I had disgusting electrolytes for no reason because I had food almost straight away, which was basically cream of rice. So I'd never actually had this until a couple of weeks ago, but it's basically something that you mix with just kind of rice flour and a couple of other things. It's basically something you just mix with a little bit of boiling water and ends up kind of like a nice warm, flat rice pudding with some honey. And that is literally all and a cup of coffee. So that's what I've had so far. Basically just to get a bit of as much kind of like sugar in my blood as possible, because obviously heavy carries, they are an endurance event, but it is heavy. So you need all the fuels that you can. So again, 7 minutes past 5 now, a little bit of mobility stuff on the floor, and let's go and see Yolanda.
Good morning, Jimmy.
Is it?
Are you ready?
I think I'm ready. So we're on the way to the track now, Iron Sky Gym. If you have not been following the journey, it's a little CrossFit gym here in Larnaca, and there's basically like a slightly under 400 meter kind of concrete track that is the perfect place to do this kind of work. So we're on our way there now to set everything up. We just need to stop and get some water on the way.
And a coffee.
And cameraman needs a coffee today. And basically, one of the reasons why we've got to make sure that we fuel so well, because obviously this is like a full day of training and eating, and I'm training at 5:30 in the morning, so that part of it will be pretty short, is I'm basically going to do exactly the same tomorrow. So we're actually splitting the training load over a couple of days. So we've got a big kind of 2 to 2.5 hour carry now, and then the same tomorrow. So we didn't have much water at the house, hence the reason that we're doing this here. So this is just me mixing in some isotonics. So obviously I'll have a certain amount of water on its own, but just having this stuff on hand, and some gels, which I'll kind of walk you through my usage throughout. The reason that carbs and fuel generally, sugars are so bloody important right now, is because we are doing it in this multi-day kind of method. So it's not just about I'm fueled now, smash a session and then kind of replenish after. I have to be fueled for now. I do have to replenish after this and fuel for tomorrow morning. And the reason that electrolytes are so important is because it is currently 5:46. I'm already here in a shorts and vest, and the second it hits about 6:30, it just gets fucking miserable and extremely sweaty. And I noticed that it's good 4 weeks in the UK of doing some training there, came back, and it was difficult. It is not an easy thing to deal with, just because you just got sweat in your eyes the whole time, and you do feel it. You just feel as if kind of the heat just bakes through you. It's one of the reasons that we're splitting the load. Instead of me doing 12 miles over the next couple of days, we're doing 6 and 6. And exactly the reason for that is, the only way that I could do it is if I started at 2 a.m. and I don't want to do that. When it's logistically okay to split it, I'd rather split it. So last few minutes before I crack on then, the only thing I'm going to have now is I'm going to have an energy shot, which is something I had for the first time last week. Never had one of these little energy shots before. It's a different brand, but I had an unbelievable session, and that was the only thing that changed. So I'm praying that that's like a fucking magic medicine, so I can enjoy that for the next couple of weeks. Maybe not have any, which I wouldn't for a couple of weeks before, and then save this as a little secret weapon for race day. So this is C4. How much caffeine, how much amphetamines in this? Never enough. fucking go. Vest on, Yoke, 75 kilos, which is disgusting. The vest is 16, the vest is 15. I don't even know why I said that. It's 5:54 a.m. It's enough waffle. I'm procrastinating installing because these weird little tingly few minutes before I start are miserable, but no time like the present. Let's get cracking. So I'm like half a mile in, 10 minutes in. I've ditched the vest. And this is how I actually split my session last week. On the Saturday, I had the vest for 5 miles. On Sunday, I ditched it for 5 miles. It's not the weight, it's just the position. So there's something about where the fucking bar sits that everything changes. My elbow position changes, I can't lock in. The whole point of having this vest is that it's grippy at the top. It's designed exactly for this. And I don't think the weight is doing too much of, like obviously it's going to be helping carrying more weight, but it just gets so disgusting. My back, it just feels painful, it feels crunchy. Certain parts of my lower back and my hip flexors are ruined because I'm in a completely different position. Like I wish I could load this up, but obviously the gym's closed. But I genuinely rather go faster and further rather than, or heavier, but just rather than doing it with that specific implement, because I can't lock it in my back properly when the vest is in the way. So that's my long excuse for why I'm now going lighter. It makes such a difference already. Again, it's not just the weight. Like I can get my shoulders and I can expand my chest into the right position. I can move my hips and stuff without feeling kind of a bit tight around there. And I know that it's not just the weight because this is 75, but I was lifting 89 on the Yoke in Newcastle and that still felt great. It's just the position. I'd rather it be heavier, but feel as I can move my body properly, you know. That's enough waffle. First lap done without a vest. Game changing. Got to be polite to the locals, isn't it? Especially when I do look fucking intimidated right now. This is the time that I call Lord of the Flies, which is a title I gave myself because I hate them, but they seem to fucking love me. Now that the sun's coming out, this is where I really come into my own. Solar panel might look stupid, but works for that. Supervisor tonic, first gel, 2.35k in at 29 minutes 30ish. So over halfway, I'm probably like 6 and a bit K in now. 3 and a bit K left. Savage. I've put some tiny little plates, put some 2.5s on each end of the yoke. But so it's 85 kilos, which is there or thereabouts the weight on the day. The weight on the day is a little bit more, it's about 88. But realistically at that level, I don't think it's gonna make any difference. But the weights at the bottom turn the bar in a certain way, and it's fucking hard. So the good news is, everything that can be harder right now is harder, but I'd rather it be like that, so on the day it's just gonna feel a little bit smoother. That's the thinking anyway. Let's see. The 6th of October, I'll let you know whether or not that fucking plan pans out. 1,200 meters left, slightly less. Probably gonna be 4 laps, 3.5. It's fucking just feeling hard, it's heavy, and it's hot. So I accidentally stopped the clock about halfway through. So I literally just pressed the button while I was there, restarted it, and a really good benchmark for like a speed session is 3 miles an hour. So 4.8k done in less than 60 minutes. The first one I did it in about 59:30. First time I've ever done it, and it's not even part of a speed session, it's part of an endurance session. And today, or just now with the second bit, as you can see, 4.81k, so just over 3 miles, 59:58. So 2 seconds in by 2 seconds. And obviously you can kind of add a little bit on because I'm normally like walking around or whatever, but that normally only adds like 20 meters if I shake my arms off. So overall, over the moon with that. That is basically 6 miles done in under 2 hours. So we're back. I've had a shower, I've rolled out a little bit, and there's always this thing that happens a little bit after. I don't know if it happens in marathon running or whatever, but my body just starts to like tense up, which is why like rolling out within about kind of 60 to 90 minutes is kind of crucial. My refeed right now is some Cypriot Rice Krispies, but apparently they're salted. I don't really know how that's good. I can go in a second. I'm going to chuck some blueberries in there. I'm going to mix it all up. So basically just to make sure that I get a little bit of bloody glycogen back in my system. I've got some coconut milk in here. I'm going to mix that with Atavis grass-fed whey. Cleanest grass-fed whey on the system. And I'm going to mix that also with a little bit of vegan protein. It's chocolate flavoured just because I want a bit of sweetness in there. Usually I'm happy to have unflavoured whey kind of on its own, but today I think I need a little bit of flavouring. So this is basically my first little refeed. So a little bit of, obviously you know you get carbs from the Rice Krispies, you know, a bit of fructose from the blueberries as well. Decent kind of protein intake from this stuff. And I'm going to enjoy this probably with a decaf coffee for now, because I do have a fair amount of caffeine floating through my system. A bit of decaf coffee, a little bit of coconut milk and some honey. Chill out, watch TV for 20 minutes. And let's be honest, considering I've been up since 4:10, we're probably not that far away from a nap.
2 hours later.
Okay, so we have beef mince, probably about 300 or 400 grams. Sprinkling of Himalayan sea salt. So I usually intermittent fast. I do not intermittent fast on days like this. And I'm normally pretty low carb until the evening, but obviously, again, like replenishing from what happened this morning and prepping for tomorrow, I can't be particularly low carb because carbs do fuel performance. So I'm gonna have an absolute shit ton of gluten-free toast, or gluten-free bread that I'm making the toast, with some butter and some honey, and I'm just gonna have that with the beef. And for those of you who think beef and honey together is weird, you're right, I'm odd. I have no taste buds, I don't care. That's effectively what I'm gonna do. So calories and macros are up here on the screen. I'm kidding, I have no idea what the fucking calories and macros are, and I don't care. But I think overall today I'm probably hitting maybe about 4,000 with maybe a little bit more, kind of about 4.2 with energy gels and and everything else. And I did this last week, the first day, and then the day between after the first session to replenish the kind of the depleted glycogen stores and to prep for the next day. I had about 4,500 calories in the second session. I felt incredible. I think that's the difference when, again, like it is weighted and it is endurance, and you combine those two things together. I'm carrying like either 75, 85 or 90 kilos on my back, like it's heavy, right? So I need to make sure that I'm appropriately fueled for that. So we'll serve this up and I'll show you what it looks like in a second. It's been a while since I've been childlike excited by food this much. I'm about to enjoy the next 20 minutes of my day. So good. And you're probably not surprised to learn that a few hours after some heavy carrying, your body tends to seize up a bit. So some afternoon mobility is key. Obliques, hips and rotational work are an absolute must, and a good opportunity actually to be proactive with some breath work as well. This is something I feel such an amazing flipping benefit from, but I just can't seem to bloody be consistent with it. So this mid-afternoon, even like 10-minute segment is key. And as well as feeling a little bit more flexible after, I just feel calmer and more centered. Mobility done, quick shave and haircut. I won't show you in the bag as well. So I actually have a Costa, believe it or not, there is Costa in Cyprus, mind-blowing, and it is the closest coffee shop to me. So I'm not being xenophobic by not expanding my horizons, but it's 2 seconds away. So coconut flat white. Now, so it's a few hours later, I've done a little bit of work. I have obviously done the mobility as you've just seen, and it is basically time to fuel again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a protein bar. I'm not a huge fan of protein bars generally, but this Space Protein is like 90 cents here in Cyprus, and it's actually really nice. It's quite plain flavored, which, considering I have, unflavored grass-fed whey, and I have things like beef and blueberries together, which suggests that I don't really have taste buds. So I don't mind it, but it's just got a hint of coconut, which is really, really nice. I would have that with, I've actually had half of these already before I started filming, but basically pretty much kind of like 2/3 of a tub of blueberries, some natural sugars, get some fructose in the system. And in terms of supplements, this is when I usually have all of my supplements together. So we have Atlas Total Support by Atavist. So this is basically like a male hormonal supplement. It has KSM 66 ashwagandha, it has magnesium, it has really high grade shilajit, which has like, shilajit's got something like 85 minerals in it or something wild like that. I do notice a difference with this. There are only probably 3 or 4 supplements I've ever taken where there has been a very visceral response, like a marked, change that I can, obviously it's self-reported, but that I can self-report a change, and this is one of them. So I take 4 of these, as is the prescribed dose. I'm not ODing on it. But in terms of a baseline, like mineral base and male hormonal health supplement, keeping me nice and kind of healthy during my incredible prep, that's one of the things. I also have a vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams. This is a chewable one basically because this is what was in the local pharmacy. Vitamin C is an interesting one actually. I'm 36 now. I haven't really had it for most of my career. I used to have it when I was in bobsleigh because, basically, immune system health. Whilst we were, as well as suppressing your immune system through lots of training, I was traveling around a lot, etc., etc. But this for me is something that, even though this is like, it's the least glamorous supplement ever, is taking a gram of vitamin C a day, but I actually think it might be a little bit of a secret weapon, to be honest. Then I take that now, so getting to the meaty stuff. BPC 157 is something I did a video on recently. It is a peptide that helps with connective tissue healing. So people who, you know, tear their ACL or rupture their Achilles and then they have surgery or whatever, they take this. So I took BPC 157 for about 2 months, and then I came off of it for a month. And interestingly, when I came off of it, there were certain like niggles and aches and pains that almost felt as though they came back. Like 100% legit. This is like Jen. And I was like, this is fucking weird. Maybe it really, really did help then. So I've now gone back on it, but now I've gone back on BPC 157 and TB 500, which are 2 different peptides that are supposed to have like a really good synergistic effect. This is TB4 frag. I don't really know what that means, but I spoke to a friend of mine, I shall not name him, but he is a doctor and a competitive athlete, and he says that this is basically the best thing. And it's helped him with a lot of shoulder pain. Another guy who's also a competitive athlete and a doctor said it's helped him with knee injuries. So this, considering the amount, again, the amount of load going through my body, and again, it's not as though this is 100% unique, but there aren't that many events where you have more than your own body weight going through your system from the top of your spine for 6 hours. So there is probably going to be a little bit of like, you know, grinding and crunching and bone on bone stuff, which I'm trying to, you know, make sure that I insulate against as much as possible. And obviously creatine, 5 grams a day, without a shadow of a doubt. Not glamorous, but again, it's a secret weapon. The reason why everyone gobs off about it, there might be some truth behind that. And finally, cod liver oil. So this has just been taken out of the fridge, so I keep this in the fridge. Joint health, healthy fats. This isn't something I usually take now. This is usually something I take with my evening meal for no reason other than the fact that it's just habituated. But I think realistically with supplements, with things like this, it doesn't really matter when you take them. I just thought I'd show you them now. This is what I'm having across the course of the day. So in terms of like my afternoon snack today, protein bar with kind of like 2/3 of, it's very specific, 2/3 of a tub of blueberries with these supplements. Atlas total support, vitamin C, BPC 157 and TB 500, cod liver oil, and creatine, and ye old faithful, a coconut flat white. There we go, afternoon nutrition, tick. And then we're off for dinner. The woman and I headed to Limassol, which is about an hour's drive from where I live in Larnaca on the east side of the island, for a nice walk along the beach, flushing the legs out a wee bit from earlier, and having dinner with not one, but 2 pretty sensational mains actually. So I had like a salmon risotto thing, as you're seeing here, and some prawns and rice. I needed this. And the plates were bloody spotless by the end. I don't think I even left a drop of sauce. But obviously the high salt content and exertion of the day meant I needed some sweet stuff in my life. And the ice cream here in Cyprus is on point. Dark chocolate and vanilla combo, incredible. The vanilla is average. The dark chocolate, 2 of the only gluten-free flavours in the gelato shop. The dark chocolate might be the best gelato I've ever had in my entire life. Full day of eating and a long carry session ahead of my event in a couple of weeks. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. See you in the next one.